Everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight we're doing something a little bit different. Tonight's movie, The Fair. Hopefully you saw that by the thumbnail. But bringing along Dominic here to talk about it. He picked the movie, and I thought it was a pretty good movie to pick so that we can discuss it and review it together. This movie is about a taxi driver who finds himself trapped in a time loop. He picks up a pretty woman in a rural area at night. Later, she disappears. The loop starts over when he switches the meter back to vacant. It stars Gino, Anthony Pesi, Brianna Kelly, who also wrote it, Jason Stuart, and the director was D.C. Hamilton. So let me just turn it right over to you, Dominic, and get your thoughts on the movie.
Thanks, Jeff. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I watched the movie a short time ago, and actually I watched it again just last night to prepare for the review, to refresh. And that just, sometimes you see a movie that really captures your attention. I mean, this one really caught my attention. First of all, it wasn't too long. It was about an hour and 25 minutes. It wasn't, I don't like movies when they're very, very long. You lose my attention a little bit at that point, going well over 2 hours. But it was like a very good Twilight Zone episode. An old school throwback Twilight Zone episode, in my humble opinion. And it was an efficiently, it was obviously a movie that was pretty economical to film. There was basically only two actors in it. It was a two-man show. I mean, there was a couple of other people that popped up. At the end of the day, it was just, like you said, one man and one beautiful woman in the movie. And, maybe we'll go into spoilers in the end a little bit. I don't want to start giving spoilers. I don't feel that would be the right thing to do. But I really liked it. The way it resolved, I thought was interesting, to say the least. Maybe we'll do spoilers in the end. I can't say much, but we'll see what you have to say. We'll do spoilers, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just thinking that. I was like, maybe we should say that so it's easier to talk about the movie. A lot of things that you said, I agree with. Like Twilight Zone, that's immediately what I thought about, was like, and part of it, they even show it in black and white, and it changes into color at a certain point. I have some like questions I want to discuss, so I think it'll be easier once we jump in and go to spoiler alerts. But really, before we do that, the one scene where he keeps driving, right? So he's driving into an electrical storm, right? And that's part of the entire plot as he's moving towards it. They have like a drone type of scene, angle that they're showing the lightning and the car driving. There's an opening. There's a movie production company. I couldn't think of the name of it, but that's like the opening to all of that they're a part of, was like that lightning piece. It's probably not the same
Yeah.
footage, but it looks like the same B-reel. So I
Yeah.
thought I'd
No,
call that out.
I
But
can't
let's
think of,
let's let's go ahead. Sorry.
I hear you. No, no, can't think of the company, but you're correct.
Yeah. So let's open it up. Spoiler alerts. If you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to know a little bit more about it, we're not going to probably ruin the ending, but we may. So we're just going to talk more openly about the film here. So if you want to experience it raw, jump off now, like and subscribe. But check out the movie and then come back and watch us, and we could share a little bit more about it. But we're going to talk more openly. So go ahead, you get started.
The more openly, I mean, we're talking about the old-fashioned cab. We're talking about Penny. We're talking about Harris. And by the way, I mean, the actress that played Penny, like they can't, she was beautiful. She truly was beautiful and unique looking. But she wasn't just beautiful. She was like, they cast the perfect actress for it. She was also charming and, charismatic in her own way. And I fell in love with her. Like, the audience is going to fall in love with her watching the movie. They're going to understand why Harris fell in love with her. And, when you're watching it, you think, is this... At first, I avoided the movie because I thought it was just another time loop movie. So I'm like, I don't know. We've seen this way too many times. But it wasn't exactly a time loop. I mean, remember at the end, they said, well, he's basically the ferryman now, for death itself, a death personified. And that was his, we are kind of spoiling it. I know we said that, but that was essentially Harris's, punishment for stealing away Death's lady, according away Penny from death. In a sense, he had to be the ferryman. But at the end, he said he found a sense of purpose in being the ferryman and driving the people who had passed away to their final destination. It was very touching. It was a little bit of a bittersweet ending. I mean, it left me happy but sad at the end. I wish that they could be together, sort of thing. I had mixed feelings, but the way the movie was filmed, the whole story was, I'm sure things have been done like that before, wasn't totally original, but the way it was put together felt to me that it was more so on the original side. And the actor who played the Harris, remember Kirby and DC Comics? I know you like that scene where he's like
Yeah.
Marvel
Oh yeah.
Comics, or the little scene. But there was just a lot in there. I watched it again and caught some things I didn't catch the first time. But what do you think? I mean, what's your 2 cents on the fair? It really got me. I don't know. I just really liked it.
Yeah, no, it came out of nowhere for me when you figure out what's going on, right? There's this time loop going on in the water piece of it. It's like, well, how is he picking her up every time? No, it's just once a year, right? And it's once a year the water makes him forget everything else, and so he stops drinking the water, and now he's got to wait once a year to pick her up, to be with her, which is kind of like I was like, a couple of things. One was, why is it once a year? And why is she doing it once a year, that kind of thing, and she's stepping out on her husband even though he's a bad man, you know what I mean? Like it's all like, but the driver, the ferryman's like, that's okay, I'll wait every year to pick you up, I'm in love with you, that kind of thing, which was great. The one thing too I didn't understand was, there's a montage, there's a scene montage of them like in the home, and he goes back and delivers flowers, and when it's all covered, like it seemed like they lived together in this home, and then what is that where they originally met, and then when he died he's in purgatory, or what? I don't know, but I didn't understand that piece of it.
Yeah, I think that I don't necessarily know if he lived there, but she went back to Earth for a short period of time. Again, some things were vague or ambiguous. My interpretation of that was they were essentially boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't necessarily live together per se, but they were together for a stint of time, and yeah, they fell in love. And then yes, he passed away because he was in a car accident. Now it was a little bit unclear if death made him get into the car accident purposefully, or if it was just terrible luck. They could have said, "Oh, that was death." Could have said that wasn't me. That was just horrible luck, or something like that. But they had fallen in love when she went to Earth. My assumption was over a number of months, maybe 2 or 3 months. But they didn't really say. There were a couple of things that weren't really spoon-fed to us or weren't really said. There were areas of opportunity in the movie, like you pointed out a couple of. Also she was cheating on her husband. I mean, it was supposed to be I mean, okay, he was a bad man, but she was a cheater. We saw them basically get together in the cab. She was a cheater. So it's a little bit, why don't you just divorce him? Again, I know we're talking about death and things like get divorced, but there are a couple of things that didn't 100% line up. But I was able to say, okay, whatever. It's not the end of the world, sort of thing. But yeah, that was my interpretation of that. They fell in love when Penny went back to Earth for 2 or 3 months, and he just fell for her hard. He fell for her really hard. That's what I thought.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that helps. I wasn't sure, like the whole time loop thing, and when they're, hey, we're understanding why he's picking her up, what the water does, all that stuff that we discussed all made sense to me. Except for, how did he get in that loop, and then that whole montage thing. So I think that makes sense. I wasn't sure if that was like a flashback or that was like real time, you know. So like you said, there is some ambiguity to it all, but it doesn't impact, I think, the film. You know what I mean? It makes it a little bit more. It actually makes it more fun because you're not exactly sure of everything, and it's probably worth watching more than once.
Yeah, I quote a few things that when I watch it the second time. Again, why once a year? Why not every 6 months? Why not every 4 months? I mean, they didn't really tell you. There was something that, some of the things that he was listening to on the radio at the beginning. They mentioned, I only caught this when I watched it the second time or whatever have you. They mentioned Hades stealing a girl away on Earth. Like, if you listen to the radio, the first couple of minutes, they mention things that are basically what the movie is about in a way. But it's just, blink and you miss it sort of thing, or, look away for a second and you miss it. So there was you watch it again, you'll see some hidden things. Again, when it went from being black and white to color, I mean, that was when things were getting more rosy, but there's probably more reason for that and exactly how that happened. There's probably a little bit more in this movie if you watch. I mean, I'm probably not going to watch it for a third time, maybe in a while from now, not like today. But if you watch it for a third time, you'll probably catch even more.
Yeah.
I didn't really look this up, but did you say the actress who played Penny wrote the movie? I didn't really do research and stuff.
That's what it says on IMDb. The writer was Brianna Kelly, and she was also the actress in it. So
I mean, pretty talented gal there, if you tell me she could act and write this thing.
yeah, I have to check out and see what else she's done because that was a fun film.
Yeah, no, I looked them up real quick. I don't think the fella in it has done all that much. She's been in a couple of things, but not. I've never seen either of them in my life, actually.
Yeah, no, me neither. That was the first time I saw him too, so I wasn't sure about it at all. But it's a nice hidden gem, I think.
A hidden gem. I don't even know how I found it, and I've never heard of it in my life. And we're both movie guys, so just there. And I'm glad I was able to share.
Yeah, absolutely. And just some background for anybody who wants to watch it. You told me it was Amazon Prime, and I tried to watch it. For some reason, I'm having a hard time watching on Prime. I don't know if anybody else is dealing. I get an error even when I'm trying to watch Reacher. So I actually ended up watching it on Tubi. So it just as good
Okay,
there.
so it's around. It's floating
Yeah.
around there.
So all right. Any final thoughts before we
No,
end?
I'm a big cinephile, and so are you. And I'd say it's worth anyone investing an hour and 25 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. Just shut your, don't play on your phone and be all, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like to shut my phone off and be alone in my room and concentrate on a movie. And this is worthy of an hour and 20 minutes of your attention. I think we both feel that way, but I don't want to speak for you. It certainly sounds that way.
Yeah, I always use the analogy. There's movies where you can fold your laundry and watch. You know what I mean? You don't have to pay as much attention to like action movies and stuff like that. This isn't one. This is one you want to stay focused in. And if you haven't seen it yet, or you're gonna go watch it again, look for those things that you called out. The radio was a great call. The things that they're talking about aliens and all that other stuff. Try and pay attention and see these little cues throughout the movie to see if you noticed them. Because I think that it makes it even more entertaining.
I concur. I definitely agree. Give it a C.
All right. All right. Well, thanks everybody. If you stuck with us this long, we appreciate it. Drop in the comments if you've seen the movie, and what you thought. And let us know if you like this approach to reviewing movies. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.